Shanti. Thank you for
Well,
joining us, even in this time of quarantine, girl. I don't know how you do it.
we don't have a choice at this point. We
This
don't,
is true.
I'm trying to stay motivated and positive.
I know.
Honestly, I had some other press stuff to do today, and it actually felt good to actually put a little makeup on and act like I was doing something today. I really feel like this is like my normal, kind of having a little piece of my normal life again. Like just even doing press, like stuff that I would normally not even have that much time to do. So,
Absolutely.
hi.
So hello. So I'll welcome everybody. I want to welcome all of your followers to Yeah Wellness. This is something that God placed on my spirit just on Sunday. And I was trying to figure out ways that even, it's no stranger that I've dealt with my depression. And after losing my sister unexpectedly last year when she passed away, my emotional health and wellness has certainly been challenged. And now being isolated and away from my friends and family, not being able to go out to events and do anything, has really caused me to kind of like pause and figure out what my priorities are, what I'm grateful for. The beautiful post I love that you posted the other day about what you would tell your younger self. I think so many people are, trying to find the good and the positive in this situation, right? And learn from it and grow from it. And you just shared so many wonderful nuggets. So one, I just wanted to check in and see, how are you and your family doing right now during the quarantine?
We're doing good. We're doing good. I feel really blessed to actually be stuck with my family. I know that sounds crazy. Like we're literally stuck together because, quite honestly, I could have been in Atlanta when this happened. And my family's out here. So I feel lucky to be together at this time. And, I'm a pretty like spiritual person, optimistic person. Health and wellness is also a big priority. I'm a woman of a certain age, so that is definitely on the forefront. We can talk about physical health and wellness, and also, we got to talk about this mental health and wellness as well, because that's a big thing as well. But I feel like as crazy as this is, I feel like looking at the silver lining of the whole situation. The last time I read a book, I'm a very creative person. When we get to go back out again, I'm gonna grab some paints and stuff. I paint.
Do you really?
I do. I paint. I haven't painted in years, Shanti. But I know that's one of the things that I used to do when I had time to do it. I cook. I didn't know. Now I knew I could cook, but I didn't know I could cook this damn good, because now I'm cooking with limited resources and ingredients up in here. Like I'm being creative. Like I'm just making, different, I'm creating recipes at this point. And just to make sure there's food in the house. So
well,
I feel like this is, I just feel like everybody's going to come out of this a little better than they went into it.
Yeah, and a little bit stronger, right?
Oh yeah,
and
stronger.
The fact that you are spiritually. Yes. Absolutely. So I want to also ask you, how are your kids coping? What are they doing? I know they're not in high school, right? They're older than that, right?
No, college, and some in college, some are on breaks, some are not, trying to figure out their lives. Currently, just trying to figure out their lives, and this gives them a lot more time to focus on that. And for us to focus on it, the one thing that Mike and I didn't know, my fiance and I.
And congratulations, by the way. I haven't seen you in a while, so yeah.
I know. Thank you. We didn't know what a TikTok was 2 weeks ago.
Girl, me either.
Well, let's just say, thanks to our kids, we were over here TikToking, which is just great for just trying to stay happy and positive during this time. And what we have realized is through TikTok, we may have some actresses in here. We may have some untapped talent in this house that we may be able to do some stuff with when we come on the other side of this thing. And we never had time to pay attention to these kids with that stuff. I was like, wait a minute, they can low-key act over here.
I saw the one you did last night. It was good, girl.
Girl, listen. If I don't get me some work after this is done, some little acting job, somebody's out there. I know some of these producers, directors, writers, somebody has definitely saw me doing something.
That's right.
You know what? We may have to cast Cynthia for this next thing.
Yes, so. We are paying attention. We need to shout out to Will Packer. We're going to call Will.
Yes, come on, Will. And I know I can do something. I know you got something for me now. I know you
at TV. Where you at? Come through.
And you're paying attention now. You got to have some feet and roll, child. But I know you got a little something for me.
That's right. That's right. Can you tell everybody that's watching how important mental health is? You know, I've been on my journey with my foundation, silencetheshame.com, and it's really just to help erase stigma so people know, like, therapy is actually a good thing. Some people go to therapy when something's wrong, but a lot of people just go, you know, as a part of their daily regimen. Like, what are your thoughts on therapy? And has anybody in your family or your girlfriend's ever gone? And how important is it for our community?
Well, funny you should ask. My fiance actually just started therapy
for some, really proud of him.
That he's been dealing with that go way back to like childhood stuff.
Kind of generational childhood trauma.
Of course. Yeah. Of course. And then, you know, speaking for myself personally, I've definitely, you know, had bouts with depression. I'm not, you know, I know there's levels to depression. I don't want to, you know, act like, you know, I don't want to make light of it, but I know I've definitely been depressed at different times in my life. And I know what that's like. And mentally, you know, you're just in a dark place. And, you know, when you have a family and you got to go to work, you know, it just makes everything harder. So mental wellness is very, very important. When it comes to therapy, we are actually doing premarital therapy. We're going to do that.
I love that. Yes, to premarital therapy.
Oh, yes, absolutely. That's because you don't have to wait for problems to go to therapy.
You really don't.
You need to go before you start really having problems, because
that's right.
You know, I'm, you know, 53 years old. Mike is 49.
Wait a minute. You do not look. Hold on. I'm 49. I know we're close in age, but
girl, I just turned 53 in February.
So we're gonna talk right after this question. I'm gonna get into some of your self-care tips on beauty, because I know that people will love while we're inside. But I'm sorry. Go ahead. So you wanted premarital therapy?
Yes. Because when you've lived and been through a lot of different things in your life, you know, we all have had, you know, different issues, things that we brought into our adulthood life.
That's right.
You know, we still have to, I know I never had therapy growing up to deal with anything that, you know, was an issue for me. So that stuff just follows you. So it's good.
And it allows you to process it, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You know, for me, my thing is when I'm in a situation that scares me, or I'm not comfortable with, or I'm not happy about, you know, my go-to is to be able to leave that situation, like no matter what, like instead of like, oh well, let me try to work this out, like I'm looking for the door. I'm like, oh, I can't deal with this, because I grew up watching, you know, my mother and some, you know, unhealthy.
I think a lot of us did.
And, you know, mentally abusive, physically abusive. And I always looked at her honestly, like, that ain't gonna be me. Like, you know, most kids grow up like, I want to be just like my mom. I was like, I do not want to be just like my mom, because I don't want to feel like I'm stuck in relationships, and I don't want to sacrifice my happiness to be sad to be with somebody. Like, I understand that was very confusing for me growing up. And I always was like, I have to be successful. I have to make money. I have to have options so I can just be alone if I have to. And I know that sounds crazy, but I just don't. I have one of my biggest fears is being stuck in something that does not serve me spiritually, mentally, in my life. Like that.
And see, you may not realize that's the trauma that you experienced, right, as a child growing up. And so you were trying to find coping mechanisms, is what we call them, healthy ways for you to cope and get past that situation. Yes, all connected. And for you to be able, you know, I just applaud you for taking the necessary steps to create a different reality in life for you and for your family moving forward. So certainly applaud you on that. That's a really, really
and I applaud you for. I don't know why this was on your spirit to talk about this, but I applaud you for doing this. And that's why when you reached out to me, I responded right away and was like, absolutely. There's no reason. I can't say I'm too busy to talk to you. I got time. I can talk to you for the rest of the week about the stuff if you want to. But it's good to talk about it, because a lot of times people look at, especially like for some reason people, even though, you know, a lot of celebrities are a hot mess, but a lot of times they do look at us like we don't go through a lot of things that everybody else go through, because we don't really, you know, always talk about it. You know, you know how it is on the gram. We only post the best stuff on the gram. We're not going to post those dark days.
And it's okay posting like your best life, right? Because you're excited and you want to celebrate it. But these are the moments that I think really speak to the human soul and to who we are, when we can kind of dig deep and be a little bit of vulnerable and be, more transparent. So because now, this self-quarantine, it has no face, right? We are all at home. We are all in this together.
It doesn't discriminate. Everybody, we're all in the same boat.
That's right.
Literally. We're really all in the same boat now. And,
that's right.
I think that, again, as tragic as this is, I think this is so important for people to realize what's happening in the world, because what's happening is people are coming together like they're never done
together.
Before.
They really are. And the other thing I want people to know is that this thing is real. I know it's a lot of conspiracy theorists out there, and I'm not knocking anybody's beliefs, but what I do know is I know people in my direct circle of friends and colleagues that are either sick with this thing or that have passed away. And so I just want people to know, like, I know it's tough staying home, and I know we want to get out, especially when it's a sunny day and it's not raining, but people, this thing is real. And that's why I'm, reaching out to people like yourself, Cynthia, so that we can shed light on what's going on, and also give people some self-care tips and things that they can do so that we can kind of, like you said, get to the other side of this thing. So speaking of some more self-care, girl, give me some beauty tips. What do you do at night? Like, for my ladies and for our men, like, what's your regimen at night from a wellness perspective? Like, I just love to hear about that.
Lately, I've been able to get a lot more sleep. I think I've had more sleep this week than I've had in the past 10 years. So,
are you serious?
Oh yeah, I have insomnia. I don't sleep. I'm a night person. That's when I, do a lot of my work, my thinking. So I have terrible sleeping habits, and I have been, when I tell you, I have been sleeping like a baby. So getting, the right amount of sleep is, great. I've been trying to drink more water, because I kind of like that too, because I'd rather have, some orange juice or whatever. So just staying hydrated. In terms of skincare, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of have decent skin, so it's not like I have to go through this whole process. I know, don't hate me, but I've never really struggled that much in the skin department. But I will say, now I do believe in facials, like getting facials and stuff. I try to go get one like twice a month, and I'm not saying you got to go to the most expensive facialist in the world. I'm just saying, like, if you can get one as much as you can, I highly recommend facials. And if you can't, then I'm big on exfoliation. And you can get, any over-the-counter stuff that works for your skin, because what works for me may not work for you. I'm not going to recommend a brand and then you try it and be like, girl, that stuff broke me out. And Whatever works for you. Daily exfoliation is a good way to keep dead skin off of your face. So I definitely recognize that. And I'm big on moisture.
Right? Like, after you get a facial,
you feel like, no, you feel good, because here, for me, for my work stuff, I have to wear makeup. When I don't wear makeup. I put a little bit on for you, Shanti, just because I just want to be cute on your little live and stuff. But you can go on my Instagram, and people love when I don't wear makeup. Like, they love fresh faces, and it's like, that's great if you got the skin to do it, but a lot of people don't have the skin to feel confident, have a fresh face. So this is a good time while you guys have time to come up. There's probably a lot of different little things you can research with different, like, home facials and stuff you can make it yourself, and do those things, like things you may have that you did, like, oh, I bought this a while ago, I didn't even try it. Just experiment and have fun. Like, there's all kind of like oatmeal facials you can make for yourself. Just take care of yourself. But more than anything, I think sleep and water is definitely very important. And, let me just keep it 100. Although I get my little facials, I do, when having the right makeup, knowing how to apply it, there's so many, like, tutorials and stuff about that and stuff now, just figuring out what works for you. I know that I don't, I just know my little stuff that works for me, and I just stay with that. I don't venture too far off from that.
Well, it's working, but those are all great tips. I'm not going to hold you long, but I do have two last things to mention. So, Wellness, which is the platform that I created, it's all about mind, body, spirit, but I added business to it, right? Because we know when our business isn't well, we don't feel well. It could lead to other things, from physical ailments. So I want to talk to you. I know you had launched your sunglass line a while ago. Talk to us about, what you're doing from a business perspective, and any tips to entrepreneurs that they can utilize this time on focusing on some of those side hustles or side
projects. Absolutely. Well, I haven't talked to you. It's in a long time.
I know.
So, a lot has happened since Cynthia Bailey.
Sure.
Girl, I've had so many other things. I got CPR. I opened up a wine cellar in Atlanta.
Oh my God.
The Bailey wine cellar. All of that's going on. I'm dealing with that right now because, as a businesswoman, that's my newest baby. Okay. But I have employees that work there. And, when this whole thing happened, I had to try to figure out, okay, what am I going to do? I mean, we have to, close down right now. But, I had to make the decision how, my employees still this is their livelihood. So, figuring out a plan with them to continue to pay them until we, we're able to open back up, and, how, what they can do to make sure that we, the business is, goes back to the way it was and better at this point, because now we've lost money.
That's right.
So, just talking to my team and making sure my team is good, because I know that I'm in California, so I can't run the cellar by myself. So I know it's important as a businesswoman to make sure your team has what they need to continue to, execute your vision of everything that you're coming up with. Because this is not the only business that I have. I have several other businesses that I work on as well.
Okay.
So, but I would just say, for anyone with a small business, because most of my businesses are small, this is definitely the time to figure out, okay, well, what can I do from home? Because we've been talking about doing a website for the Bailey Wine Cellar and just hadn't gotten around to it. So I'm working on that now. Because
now is a good time. Yeah.
Figuring out merchandise. We can't sell wine online, but when Georgia, like there's all these weird Georgia rules with alcohol. So anyway, that's a whole nother story. But the point is, I am going to figure out, and this is what everybody needs to be thinking about, how to monetize business without actually having to go to work now.
Can you say that one more time?
Okay. Now, this is what we have learned. This is the takeaway from this whole quarantining coronavirus stuff. What you have going on already, how do you monetize it from the comfort of your bed? I'm in the bed right now, working. Right now, in my bedroom.
Love it.
How do I continue once this is over? Because I'm going to still go back out and get the money that I need to get. But we literally have slept on income.
No passive income. I call it passive income, baby.
Let me tell you, we forgot about this. We stopped thinking about all the creative ways of doing things and just thinking outside of the box, like
Absolutely.
For real. The ways we can make money from home.
Yep.
And I am definitely, looking at all my different businesses and putting that home component in it, because now it's like, oh, I can actually hire people that don't actually have to physically come into work for me on different projects. So it has definitely changed my way of thinking as a businesswoman, and it's refreshing, because shit, if I had a choice, I would work from home all day long. I don't have, I'm kind of like, I'm like, this whole isolation thing is not that challenging for me, to be honest, because, I'm by myself a lot anyway, traveling for work. As a model, I traveled the world alone. So I can be by myself. I can be in the house. My fiance, Mike, is more of a busybody. Like, he has to go somewhere, whatever. I can be in here for weeks. As long as I'm getting my work done, I can get up, go to my living room, work. I don't really have to be around people that much. I'm kind of used to being isolated a little bit. So, but yeah, so that's my takeaway.
So I love that.
Use this time to be creative and think of all the stuff, because this situation is forcing people to think about other ways to make money than the traditional ways that we've thought about all these years.
And the other thing too is, one thing I've been trying to figure out is, once I get back to where I am, having these several, streams of revenue, how I can save and reinvest, because
amen.
I was not savvy. Full transparency, I wasn't saving as much as I should have. You think life is good and you get these gigs, and you got to put some money away for times like this, right? So
so
thank you for that.
I agree.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. We can move on.
I was just going to say, my last question is, I always like to, I'm going to give some resources, but what is a favorite book or board game or album or anything you want to recommend? Because I like to just do a fun takeaway for everybody.
Right. Well, I mean, I think we can all agree whenever D Nice goes on live, you
I
just put
know.
this little, just hook him up, put him on the speakerphone, and
Yes.
for like an hour or so, and listen to his music. You can't get any better than that. Movie wise, I like movies. I like watching movies. Mike and I definitely have watched some really great movies over the past couple of days. If you guys haven't seen the Madam C.J. Walker movie, I highly recommend it.
I heard about that. Yeah.
I love movies. As much as I have going on, I still need inspiration. I still need to be inspired by stuff. And it was just a very inspiring story. I knew the story, but I didn't know a lot. I didn't know her whole story. We just watched The Bankers yesterday with Anthony Mackie and Samuel Jackson. That was good. Been watching just a lot of stuff, like even just watching Shy. We've been on Netflix. I mean, we've really been watching everything. Mike has been reading Just Mercy. I've been actually reading this book that somebody, my fans send me a lot of stuff, and someone sent me this, and it's called The Five Love Languages, and that's been really helpful.
Oh, yes, I heard about that book.
Oh, yeah. Well, honey, when you're quarantined with your man, you really need to know the damn love language then. Because, trust me, this quarantine is what we're getting married in October. And when I tell you God is testing us right now, being stuck with each other 24/7, it's like, people are used to being together. Like I joked on Instagram, said I always, fuss at Mike about spending more quality time together. Well, this ain't what I damn had in mind. I was like, shit, this is some quality time.
There you go. It's funny. I was laughing with one of my friends, for some of the couples that may not like each other right now. They're gonna
struggle getting on the other side. If you
God bless them, and I encourage them to go to therapy, and utilize that. Yeah.
Let me tell you something. You're gonna come out of this more solid than ever, or y'all asses are breaking up after this, because you will know very clearly if you just want to be around this person or not.
That's right.
I was just joking. I was just doing an interview with BT, and they were asking me like how we're dealing with the quarantine and how things have changed or whatever. And I was saying, you know what, I'm a very private person, and Mike and I have only been together 2 years, so it's still kind of new. There's certain things that I don't really like to do in front of him and stuff. You know what I mean? That's some little stuff, my little personal business. I may have to go to work.
Right.
Well, now his work is in the damn house. So all that little I used to didn't want to maybe fart in front of him, girl. Now it's just like, what you want me to do? But hold it, like you're in here everywhere, every room I'm in, you're in. And we don't have it ain't like we're living up in the Taj Mahal, and then so we have to share our space. So we've been talking about stuff like that. I'm like, look, all that litl privacy stuff, girl, it's out the window. We just
it's as real as it can get right now. Okay.
Oh no, it's got all the way real up in here. I'm like, okay, because again, I prided myself on he was like, oh, do you ever use the bathroom? Do you ever do number two? I'm like, well, child, honey. Okay, that's all. That's all good. Okay, we taking care of mind, body,
and spirit. It is all good. So I just want to shout out some other mental health organizations. If you guys need any help, you can refer to the Steve Fund, Mental Health America, Active Minds, which is great for college students, Dee Dee Hirsch in Atlanta, Melanated Social Work. You can check out our website, silencetheshame.com. One of the things that I told you guys in this self-quarantine, it's important that you try to stay on a regular schedule as much as you can. Get up in the morning, brush your teeth, change your clothes, take a shower. Right? That's really important.
Take a shower. Like I know you feel like you ain't going nowhere. Get your ass in the shower.
Hello.
Because you know what, you feel better. When you feel cleaner, you just do it. Don't slack on that stuff, because I I've been I went from sweatpants to literally I was in my PJs, and then I was in onesies, and I was today I was you know what, I'm gonna put on a shirt and some leggings and just actually try to put some clothes on.
But it makes you feel better.
And then I feel more productive, because I feel I look like I'm trying to get ready to do something.
Exactly. And it's also, I just want to shout out some other mindfulness apps. A lot of people like to meditate. So Calm is a great app. Headspace.
Oh, that is a great app.
It's so good. There's another one called Zen and Simple Habit. And a lot of them are offering free subscriptions, just like Netflix and Hulu and all those folks. But check out all these amazing apps. There's so much that you can do around self-care and emotional health and wellness, whether you're stuck home like Cynthia with the full family, or, you know, you're in quarantine, you know, by yourself, or every now and then I'll have a family member check in. But we going to get through this, y'all. We're going to get through this together. And I hope y'all follow Yeah Wellness for updates. We're going to be doing this every day, once a day at 3:30. Checking in. Hopefully I'm going to get Candy and some other folks. I'm reaching out to some of our other friends, Cynthia. So
yeah, reach out to everyone. Like, girl, reach out to everybody. One thing is for sure. They got time to come on here at least for 15 minutes. That's for sure. Because I think it's important. I think it's important for us to go back to this kind of stuff where we, you know, have these conversations and we make ourselves available for things that are important. You know what I mean? It's like, especially if you got time. You know what I mean? So I appreciate you inviting me. You're welcome.
Much love to you. And I can't wait to visit, you know, your wine cellar and everything that you're doing. Anything that we can do in Atlanta to support you. Know that you always have a
friend. You're going to need, trust, we're going to all need, I plan on selling a lot of wine when this shit is over.
Oh, yes.
We're going to all
get the cases ready.
We're going to all need a drink. And we're going to need to celebrate, you know, our new normal and our new life because, you know, Shanti, one of the things that, you know, I'm a hugger, you know, I love my fans. I love interacting with them. That's one of the things that I love, you know, about my Seagram's empowerment, my Seagram's Escape empowerment tours that I've been doing that they all got postponed because of the virus. But, you know, that human connection. But now, like, after this is over, like, people, you know, I don't even know if shaking hands and hugging, is that like a thing of the past? Like,
I know, I was wondering the same thing.
And that makes me kind of sad because it's like, wow, you know, I'm used to connecting people. Like, there's something like it's just good for your soul when somebody gives you like a tight hug, and I fear that those days are gone. It's over. I don't think people are gonna want to do those things anymore. And, you know, I mean, I don't want to end on a sad note.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. I do know that people, you know, are going to be a little hesitant initially, but hopefully we'll get back to a point where we can do that. So we're just going to stay positive. For those of you, again, that might need some help, ETS services, check them out.
Positive
in the Baltimore area. Everything is love and positivity. Your spirit, it just radiates and shines through, and it really talks about who you are as a person. And I just thank you so much for your kindness, your resiliency, your love of family, all your wonderful posts that you do to keep us uplifted and utilizing your page in such a profound way. So I love you, and I wish you good health and self-care, and take care of your family. And I hope to see you soon.
All right. Thank you so much, Shanti. I appreciate you guys. You guys stay safe out there. Stay healthy. Wash those hands. Social distance.
Yes,
you know,
stay inside.
You guys have everything you need for your families. And, you know, from my family to yours, we are praying that everyone stays healthy. And, you know, for information, for inspiration, some more crazy TikToks, make sure you guys follow me, Cynthia Bailey 10, because we got time over here. So we're probably going to
we're going to be looking. And y'all make sure y'all stay up to date on the cdc.gov with what's going on. All right. Stay safe. Peace out. Love you.
Bye. Bye, you guys.